everyone, this is Jamie Leha with Leto X Crossstitch, and I'm back with another Flosstube. So I kind of forgot that I was supposed to share all of my finished projects before I dove into my whips. So you're gonna see things in and out of order. I apologize, I just dove right in, didn't even think about it. But so yeah, if you're gonna wonder why some things are in weird orders, that's why. I was halfway through my whips when I came across one of my finished patterns and I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do those first. So you will see them in the order that I feel like they're quote unquote meant to. I mean, we could do it however we want, but I would like to share my finished projects with you guys first and then move on to my whips. So this season I was able to finish 5 patterns, which I'm really excited about. They were all small projects, but I don't care. I love that I was able to finish 5 things this season. I think that's so fun. So I will be showing those next. So I started subscribing to Shaded Stitchery's Patreon, and the first thing she released with her Patreon was a set of merit badges. They were, I think, just called the 2025 merit badges. There were 3, and I managed to stitch 2 of them. So this one is called Defied the Doom Scroll, and I was able to stitch this just on a scrap piece of gray Ada. I think this gray is from before I knew anything about cross stitch proper, and I think I was just shopping on Amazon. So this is gray 18 count from Amazon. And I just used a little scrap, and I intend to turn this into a patch, and I'm going to make a little banner of some kind to hang all my cute patches, because Nuri has continued to create cute little patches that I would like to continue to stitch and add to. And then another of that trio that she released is this guy. It's called, or it says Disassociated Via Hobbies, which, yes, a lot, especially in the past year or so. And this is just on a cream, man, a lot of excess fabric here. It's just a cream that I had in my stash. I couldn't tell you which cream it is. Yeah, I don't even know where I got this or when I got this, but it's just a cream, and I really love the colors that she chose for this. It's just really cute. I actually stitched this, almost the entire thing, at the Bare Bones retreat that Under the Sea Fabrics throws every January. They have their big retreat in June, and then that's when they go out with all of the games and the challenges and different things. And then Bare Bones is what happens in January, where literally it's just kind of the room, and you pay for your spot, and there's a couple of giveaways, but it's not the whole big planning thing that Leslie takes all of her time, puts a lot of her time and energy into. This is just what it's called. It's just Bare Bones. So I spent the whole weekend really stitching this little guy, but I love it, and I'm glad that I have it finished, or the pattern is completed, and I can work on finishing it with the other patch that I wanted to do as well. So these are just on scraps, and that's why I like these littles so much. It's just nice to be able to pull things from your stash, even scraps of fabric that maybe we're definitely not going to be able to fit a bigger project, so it's nice to have little guys to utilize as much of the fabric as you can. One of them I stitched in February. I wanted to stitch this in February because the name of this pattern is Otters in Love by Samantha Lane Designs, and it's these adorable otters that are lying on their backs, and they have florals and lily pads and such. I stitched this on 14 count Ada in the color Blizzard, and I used all the called for colors in this, and I just think it's so cute. The bookmark came as part of a collaboration where a bunch of designers were creating bookmarks, and then your money could be donated to various charities in order to get the whole packet of bookmarks. I can't remember what what that whole collaboration was called. I will mention it in the description and or on the screen. But this was, as soon as I looked through all of the bookmarks, this was the #1 bookmark that I wanted to stitch because I thought it was so cute. And I'm so happy to have finished it, and now I have to figure out how to actually finish it, and I'm happy I completed it, and now I have to figure out how to finish it. And finishing, man, it's a whole nother beast. It's like using a different part of my brain. I don't love having to sit down and finish things. I kind of would rather be stitching things, so I've been really bad about finishing stuff, but I'm gonna try this year really hard to get some fully finished objects to share with you guys. But this was one from this season, and I really love it. If I put it kind of close to the camera, my camera starts messing with color, so I apologize for that. But it's really cute. Okay, so I invested in a Mirabilia pattern. Her name is the La Catrina pattern that was released in 2025, and so it involves beading, which I've not done before, had not done before. So I decided to get a tiny Mill Hill kit to just try to figure out the process of beading, to make sure that I like doing the beading. And so I ended up with this UFO. I think this is from 2025, and I really love this little guy. I think it's so cute. It was super fun to work on, and I ended up doing all the beading on here, which there's not a ton of beading, but yeah, obviously Mill Hill kits have a lot of beading in them, and I just love how this turned out. And so I'm planning to turn this one into a patch as well, and so I'm going to add it to that like banner thing that I'm planning to create to put all of my cute patches on, and I think this guy will fit in perfectly. Okay, so this is a completed project, not finished, not fully finished, but completed. It is a design that I created in Stitchly, I believe, is the app that I use on my iPad, and I wanted to make earrings so that I could wear to a cross stitch retreat, and I ended up stitching them in time for the retreat, but I didn't end up finishing them in time for the retreat, so I didn't wear it for the retreat. So I didn't end up wearing them, but I mean, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. They're pretty big in terms of earrings, but I don't mind. I think they're fun. They're these little Folklorio dancers. I think they're really cute, and I use the same colors for both, but I mixed up the colors. I did it a little bit differently on both. Like I said, same exact colors, but just different colors, and I think that's kind of fun. So I will turn them eventually into earrings. This is why I didn't finish finishing them. I put them on felt, and it's the kind of felt that's adhesive, so I just stuck the felt to the back of this, and it was already adhesive, so I didn't really need to stitch it. But I decided to stitch it anyway, and this killed my fingers trying to push the needle through the adhesive and the felt, and this took me hours to stitch around because it just took me hours, and by the time this was done, I was like, yeah, I'll get to this guy another day, and the day still hasn't come, because I would like to finish them the same. And then once these are kind of done, once I've done stitching around it, which I know I don't have to, but I don't like, then I wouldn't like the fact that they're like different. Once those are done, I will put the earring hardware on here to wear them as earrings, which again, I'm also like, I'm not nervous, but I don't feel like I'm good with like opening jump rings and closing jump rings, and I feel like they're just gonna look wonky. So that's another deterrent. I don't know, I have a lot of mental hurdles, as you can tell, with this project, but I do love the little stitching, and at some point I will make these available in my Ko-Fi shop and my Etsy shop to purchase, but I'm trying to get this done, this part of it done, so then I can take photos of it, so then I can put it in a PDF that will be available. But here's a little sneak peek at something that's coming. I just think these are really fun. And I have this, the project bag that I'm using is actually, for this is actually a pencil pouch. that I got in the UK from Paper Chase. I think it's Paper Chase. Yellow is my favorite color, and there's polka dots, so I've had this in my stash for a long time, and I'm like, it's small enough for a small project, so I like keeping it in there. I actually even have scissors in here because I had to cut around the floss and whatnot. The floss and then the plastic canvas that I got from Amazon, I believe, and then all the DMC is in here. So that's one of my finishes for the season. So you've seen all of my finished projects. Now let's move on to my whips. So I'm going to be putting away winter for the year, and I have my bag of whips. I keep this in my living room, which is primarily where I stitch. It is from Tuff Totes, T-U-F-F-T-O-T-E-S, and it had some cute icons, but a couple of them have fallen off. But anyway, I really love my Tuff Tote. It holds a bunch. And so this is where I'm keeping all of my works in progress for the season. So this is winter, and I'm just gonna go through what I have in this bag, and then I will be putting the winter things away, bringing spring in, and I will be sharing another video about bringing spring in. Okay, so I've set the bag on the floor because it's easier to pull things out that way than over my shoulder. And so the first thing I'm pulling out here is my birthday start. I keep it, I don't have a project bag big enough for this, but I keep it in a clean trash bag. And it has actually saved my butt that I kept it in this clean trash bag because my cat decided that he was going to tea dye my entire bag. I had my cup of tea, some iced tea sat next to it, and he came over and knocked the entire cup off and straight into my bag. But because I have a lot of projects in these plastic, this is the only one in a trash bag, but mostly in plastic bags, it saved them. I have one tea-dyed project bag, but that's okay. But yeah, so I was really grateful that I had the foresight to put it in something. Really, I put it in this to protect it from animal hair, because we have 3 cats and a dog in this house, so there's lots of animal hair around. But let me get back to this project. So this is my birthday start. It's the Moonlight Sampler from the Blue Flower, and I am stitching this on 18 count fabric from Under the Sea Fabrics. This was a monthly, it was like the fabric of the month last year, but it was a popular color, so now it's available on Under the Sea Fabrics website. The color is Jazz, and the model was stitched on like a kind of taupey grayish brown color, and I just wanted something a little bit more moody, and I just really love how the colors are popping off of this beautiful blue, especially this like highlighter yellow color. I don't know, I just think it's so pretty, and I am loving how this one is coming together. I haven't stitched on it in a while, just because life has been busy and my stitching decreased significantly in the month of March. But I fully intend to continue working on this one because I love this project so much. I think it's really great. And I did do some modifications. I probably talked about this before, but I modified the girl because the girl in the pattern has red hair, so I modified it so she has dark hair, and then I also modified the dog to look like my dog, who is kind of a pumpkin color, but she's an old girl, so she's got a lot of white hair as well. So I actually did one strand of kind of a pumpkin color and one strand of white in here just to make it look a little bit more true to life, because yeah, she's getting older. And she's got those pointy ears and she's got a curly tail, so I just thought it was a great opportunity to have her in a piece. My husband saw this and he's like, where am I? And I'm like, I didn't create this pattern, someone else created it, so I adapted it for myself. But yes, I really, really love this one, and we'll continue to work on it, and I'm gonna put it back into its trash bag. Okay, so the next project I'm pulling out of here isn't the typical type of bag that I use. These are just plastic zipper bags that I got from Amazon for a totally different purpose, and I've been using them a lot in my cross stitch, and I'm really happy that I have invested in something that's plastic because, like I said, when a cat drops an entire cup of tea into your bag, it's really nice to have something that's going to be protected from that. And I'll show you in a second the other project bag that was unintentionally tea-dyed. But this is my oldest whip. I started this one in January of 2025. It is a pattern from the Vivsters, and it is called The Cats of El Gato Gomez. El Gato Gomez is an artist. You can follow them on Instagram. I actually have some of their original art, and I guess Vivsters reached out or something happened to where she was able to adapt one of their pieces into a cross stitch pattern, and it's 3 cats, which I just mentioned we have 3 cats. The cats in the pattern are the cats that they're the same color as my kitty cats. I've only stitched up the black cat so far, but I just love this like mid-century modern look to the cats and to the wallpaper in the background. It's very mid-century design, and that's one of the reasons why I love El Gato Gomez's art. And so when I saw that it was available as a cross stitch pattern, I immediately knew I wanted to stitch it, and then it was totally kismet that it was like the cats were the same colors as my kitty cats. They would have been really easy to change the colors if I had needed to, but I didn't need to. This is stitched in an 18 count. I think that, I actually don't know. It might be Zweigart fabric, but it's gridded, and that is really helpful for this pattern because this pattern has 52,000 stitches in it, and I've done about 10% of the pattern. So this is why it's my longest whip, because it's also the biggest whip that I have. But this is a project along with Moonlight Sampler that they're not seasonal for me. Like I will stitch on these all year round. They're the 2 projects that I keep in my bag all year round, and I try to make sure to add some stitching to them every month, unless it's like last month where it was just kind of a lower stitching month because of life being busy. But I really love this guy. I also really love the needle minder. I think I got it on Etsy. It's another black cat because one of my sweet boys is a black cat, and I love him very much. This pattern only calls for a couple colors. I think there's like 8, maybe 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, my bad. But still, that's not very many colors, and I started these before I started this project before I dove into looking at anything online related to cross stitching. So I cut these really short, and yeah, I was just learning at the time, and I'm still learning, but I just love this pattern, and I'm so proud of myself for having stuck with it, and also just that it looks pretty neat despite like I didn't know anything about railroading to try to keep my stitches neater, anything like that, but it looks pretty neat. Tidy is what I mean, not just neat. It is neat, but yeah, I love how this one is coming together. And then I think this is the 11 by 11 Q-snap size that I've kept it in. And then this one, I think this is 14 by 14. The Moonlight Sampler one is 14 by 14. I have a 20 by 21. It's too big. I can't handle it. Even when I put it in my stitching stand, I'm like trying to work around like a really big frame. So 14 by 14 is as big a Q-snap as I'm gonna get, I think. I have determined. Okay, so next I'm pulling out this project. Again, it's not in a fun project bag, but it's in a wrappable one that keeps my projects from getting spilled on. And I started this one in December. It's called Hopper's Town. It's from Heartstring Samplery, and it is themed, it's the Stranger Things TV show. I love the show. I've been a big fan for a number of years. My 35th birthday party, which was a while ago, was Stranger Things themed, and so I have like warm and fuzzy memories about the show and like watching with my husband and stuff, so I really enjoyed this sampler, and it's kind of, it's not too overtly like Stranger Things. You kind of have to know what you're looking at to even identify that it's like based on a TV show, but I just like it. I think it's fun. I am stitching this on, I believe this is an 18 count as well. It's this might be a 16 count. It's Regency from Picture This Plus is the color. It has kind of like a greenish tint to it, which I really like. I don't know why the green was immediately made me think, oh, this is perfect for Stranger Things. I saw someone on YouTube sharing it, and I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that would be a great color to go. I have so much hair in this, on all of these projects. It would be such a great color to go with like a Stranger Thing project that pattern that a new Heartstring Samplery had made. So once I saw the fabric, it clicked in my brain. I went and bought the pattern, and I got all of the called for flosses. It's a really interesting palette. It's a lot of like natural muted colors, and then there's these like fun breaks, which I am enjoying. I have not stitched on this in a while, but I'm keeping it out for now. No, you know what I think I decided? I actually decided that I'm gonna put this away. Yes, I've been working on this in winter, but I'm gonna put it away and bring it back out in summer. I feel like this summer I'm gonna have more opportunity and more desire maybe to stitch this one. So this will be going away for winter, coming back in summer. I decided that when I was updating my planner, and I just remembered. Okay, next up we have, let me see, I'm gonna keep going with the not so fun project bags. So another plasticky guy, and this one I started, Stitcherovia was having a sale on her patterns, and so I went through to find just one. I love Stitcherovia's patterns. They're so gorgeous. They're so my style. And so I thought I would treat myself to a pattern, and I ended up getting her pattern. I believe it's called Arctic Animals. I have it written in my planner as Winter Animals, but I think it's Arctic Animals. And so it's this great winter scene of animals. There's the polar bear, there's a seal, there's that cute penguin, and so everything above is like everything above this like squirrely line is above ground, and then everything below is water, and there's going to be this big beautiful whale. And I got a lot of progress done on this. This is a 14 count Ada, and I think the color is Blizzard. I picked this up from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's a non-dyed fabric. It's probably something she uses as a base when she's doing her dye stuff. But it's just this slight touch of blue. So it's not white, like, so this is white, and you can kind of see that there's that blue tint there. And I had picked this up to do a bookmark that I wanted to be blue, and then I had all of this left over because I was just stitching a bookmark, nothing huge, and so I decided that this would be perfect for winter animals, and I think it is. And so this is another project that only has a couple of colors. It's not a lot of floss differentiation, or not a lot of colors, not a high number of colors is what I'm attempting to say here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors. 2 of the colors are black and white. So I love that it's a limited palette, and I just think the design is really cute, and I am happy that I got this much stitch this winter, and it will be going away until winter next year. Or I guess later this year, because for me winter starts in December. Okay, another whip that I have is in a not fun bag. It is a kit from DMC that I got off of eBay. So let me show you. I like having digital patterns, but this guy of course came with a paper pattern, and it is London. It's a London bust, and this was in the era of Queen Elizabeth, so I love that she is on there because she was queen when I lived in London. So this says, the kit name is London Bust. It has 11 colors. It's about 10 by 8, and this kit is on a 14 count Aida. I'm trying to see if the date was on here. It might not be, but that's okay. I swear it's on here somewhere. It's a little bit of an older pattern. Like I said, I got it from eBay. Oh, 2015, circa 2015. And I am using the Aida that came in the kit, and of course all of the, I don't know, yeah, it's DMC, so it'd be DMC flosses. There's only 11 there, but I gotta start up at the top of the bust. This is the front of the bust, and I'll be coming down. I have only worked on this one day this year, and I got pretty good progress started on it. This is gonna be one of those projects that's just gonna stay in my bag because it's non-seasonal. I would like to continue to add to it throughout the year. I'm not going to be as dedicated to it necessarily as I am for Moonlight Sampler and the Cats of El Gato Gomez, but I like just having it as an option. And then I got this cute needle minder that's London themed because I couldn't help myself. I love it. I think it's a really cute needle minder. I'll have to put on the screen like who I got it from, someone on Etsy. But it's nice that this Nerge hoop, which I think, I don't know what size this is like the size, the second largest or the third smallest. It actually fits inside of my bag perfectly, so I can put the whole thing into the zippy pouch. And that's one other thing I like about having like a bigger bag like this, is that I can put the entire project, like Nerge hoop, Q-snap and all in here, and it's all contained with all of its threads and the needle minder and all of that fun stuff. Okay, so we finished sharing the whips that are in the not as cute but very functional project bags, and now I will move on to the fun project bags that are so cute. This is from PT Bags. I got it on Etsy. I just love this Santa and the fact that the Santas are multiracial. I love the like mid-century vibe to it, the graphic appeal. It's such a great bag. I love this fabric, and so I picked it up. It's a little bit looser. There's not, I guess there's probably not that interfusible stuff, fusing, I don't know what it's called, in there, but that's okay. It's still a perfectly lovely project bag. But this is one of the whips that I started in December. I got this pattern at the Jingle Ball. It is a pattern from Tiny Modernist, and it was the Winter Forest Animal Sal that I was able to do just the first section of the project. I only was able to do that, and then I kind of put it aside to work on some other things, but I think it's so pretty. I really love this pattern. I'm obsessed with all of the like animals that are in this, and so I started this in December, and then I didn't pick it up for the rest of the year, or I didn't pick it up for the rest of the season. I kind of only focused on the Christmas projects in December because I knew those were the projects that I was going to be wanting to work on in December. And so when December was done, I put this just back in the bag, and now that winter is done, I will be putting it into a storage box that I use for all of the whips that are not in season. But yeah, I really like it. I think it's such a pretty pattern, and Tiny Modernist does awesome patterns. And let me show you the flosses. So really pretty color palette. Yeah, I just love the colors. Let me see, let's do this. You can see maybe a little bit better on the white wall. I love the colors, and there's not too many colors with it. I kind of like having lower color numbers. Just because really I like the look of them a little bit more. I don't know why I said that. I like the look of all of these, all kinds of different patterns, so I take that part back. Okay, another project that I worked on in December, I have in this fun bag, which this was, the tag says handmade with love. I don't remember who I purchased this from, but it's an Etsy bag. And I will make sure to put the name of the person that I purchased this from, the shop that I purchased this from, excuse me, in the description. It also came with this little bag pull. It is a sewing machine, which, how cute is that? I didn't even realize it when I made the purchase. I was just going for the fabric that I liked. And in this one, I have the start of a pattern from Lindy Stitches. It was called Snowflakes and Stars, I think. And I just started at the very top and was able to get some of the branches in there, some of the stars, I believe is where the star and snowflake name came from, at the very top. Also, there's going to be a little Santa in the air and a big cute house in the middle, and then more of kind of like decorative floral lines or leaf lines and stars. Oh, and some geese also. I just thought it was such a cute pattern. This is stitched on 18 count My Little Dove by Jus Design. I got it at Lindy Stitches as well because the what do they call them? Why am I losing? Can't remember off the top of my head. The model stitch, thank goodness. Okay, the model stitch was done on a linen, and that linen was not available in Ada colors, so I just went for like a soft gray for this one, and I think it's really pretty. And I we'll continue to work on this guy probably in December of next year, because again, I like working on Christmas during the month of December. And so this one is one of the starts that I did this year, and I really love the pattern, and I'm excited that I have it started, and we'll be continuing to work on it throughout the years. Okay, depending on how this is edited, you may have already heard the story about how the cat knocked a whole thing of tea inside of my bag where I'm keeping all of my projects. And so I will show you now the tea stained one that he contributed to. So this is a bag from Pop Up Stitcher. I really love these bags because they're like a little bit stiffer. And I prefer the ones that don't have vinyl because I just want to see the pretty fabric. This is me being super picky. I don't like seeing the project inside the bag. Even though that would be quicker to be able to figure out what's in what, or which is which, I don't like that the colors potentially in the project in the floss could clash with the fabric. I know I'm weird, but anyway, this is why I prefer the ones that are all fabric and no vinyl. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, this is a slightly discolored because of the tea. Like, maybe right around here you can tell that there was tea dripped all over this. And of course it was like on the fabric with the cream color background that got the brunt of it. But it's okay, and actually it didn't end up getting on my project. The project bag protected the project despite only being fabric and not having any plastic in it. But it doesn't bother me that it's tea stained. It's pretty, I mean, it's in keeping with the colors. This was already kind of a vintagey look to it because it was cream fabric, or the base is cream fabric, so I'm not bothered. Okay, and this is a project I got a lot of work on this year, and this is from Nathanalu. I think it's called the Reading Badger, but then also in the pattern it says Book Burrow. So I'm not 100% sure on what the name of this pattern is, but it's a badger sitting on a comfy chair reading his book, and he's got his little frog friend sitting on the top of his chair, and I just love it. I love Nathanalu's projects or patterns. They have such great shading and depth to them, and yeah, I love this guy. This is almost 50, I think this is 50% complete, but I have to do more. Like in here, there's a little mushroom, there's some hanging photos, and then there's another plant that goes on the right side. On the right side. and I just really love this one, but I'm gonna put it away for now. I'm happy that I got this much progress done on it, and I don't know why, but like just being in a cozy chair reading a book feels winter to me. Maybe I will change my mind and bring this out in a different season later this year, but or maybe I'll just have wild hair to like go back to this because it's pretty well on its way to being done. But yeah, I love this project. It was really fun. I've worked on this a lot in March, and couldn't get it in before the end of the month, so I switched to a couple other projects and managed to get some smalls completed that way. But yeah, I love this project, and I will be happy to take it out again and continue working on it later this year, next year. Okay, last but not least, here is another project that I have in a pop-up stitcher bag. It is this awesome Carahese, I think that is her name, fabric from Spoonflower. I have followed Cara for years on Instagram. She does awesome patterns, and it looks like she's selling fabric, which I didn't even know until I saw this bag in the pop-up stitcher shop, and so of course I had to have it. And I started this one this month, and I've only put in like 1 day of work on it, but I got a pretty good start to it, so I am excited about that. It is a pattern from Leto X Stitch. I think it's called Strawberry Hill, but I wrote Strawberry Mountain down in my planner, so TBD. I don't remember which it is. TBC, to be confirmed. I will have the correct name in the video. But this was my start on it. I started right in the middle, and I really love how it has come together. So this is fabric from Under the Sea Fabrics, my home LNS. I started this at the retreat that I attended in January at Bare Bones, and was just kind of really influenced by the fabric that was available for sale there. And this is the first project that I've ever done on 20 count, so there was a bit of trial and error here. I realized that I could not do 2 strands in 20 count. You can only do 1 strand or at least I can only do 1 strand in 20 count. Again, still a newbie, still learning, but I think it's really cool, and I like how it's turning out. And again, I've only put 1 day's worth of stitching into this, but I'm so excited to continue to work on this in the spring. I started this one as part of a challenge that was on Instagram. It was the like whip drag race challenge that Thick Threads, Eli, and I cannot remember the other person's name. I'm really sorry. I will put it on the screen. They did a challenge where you would assign a whip to a queen, and depending on how that week's episode goes, if the queen wins, you would need to stitch like 5 hours or 500 stitches. If a queen wins like a mini challenge, you would have to stitch 300 or 3 hours. Just little things like that to kind of keep up with Drag Race, and to combine it with cross stitch, which are 2 of my favorite things. But I have learned, I did it for like 4 weeks, I believe, but I kept starting new projects, and I kept, I don't like having a lot of whips, y'all. Like, this is as many as I can manage, and I'm hoping to whittle them down. I don't love having them out there and not finished, but I have learned that now, and so next year I might not be starting as many whips as I did this year. We'll see. But so yes, having participated in that challenge, one of the queens that went home, this was the pattern assigned to her, so I got to start it because she went home pretty early. And then because she went home pretty early, that meant that I was probably never going to touch this again throughout the course of the challenge. So yeah, that was another reason I'm like, I kind of just want to stitch on what I want to stitch on regardless of how the episode goes. But it was fun, and it was really fun to pick like which patterns to go with which queen. And maybe it would have been better to have 2 queens per pattern so that I would have less patterns going. think at the beginning of the season there was like 14 queens. And yeah, I think it'd probably be better to just have 7 whips that I would choose from versus 14, because 14 whips is like mind-blowing to me. That's a lot. That's for me a lot. And so, yeah, but lesson learned. And I think it's awesome if you if your brain works that way and you're like excited to stitch that way, by all means, please do not take this as judgment from me. Like, whatever works for you, I am happy. I just kind of figured out, it didn't really work for me. But I love the colors on this. I was originally thinking that I was gonna stitch Strawberry Hill / Mountain on a like persimmon on an orange color, but then someone at the retreat, this is the other thing, someone at the retreat stitched it on like a great tan color, which I think was similar to the color that was used in the model stitch. And I decided that I did want to go a little bit darker. And I was looking at my options and I saw this one, and I don't know, I think it was just because of the modeling with like, there's some green, there's some orange, and then there's some yellow in here with like a little bit of a pink undertone. I just thought it was, I laid all of the flosses on it and I just thought it was gonna be so pretty. So that was another reason why I chose this one. Okay, so I'm not gonna be able to show all the colors because I think it's gonna be hard to hold these little guys up, but at least some of the colors you can see here. I just think they look so pretty. Oh, here's my own hair. I just think they look so pretty on this like neutral kind of ish fabric. And so yeah, that's one of the things I love about Jet X Stitches. Her colors are amazing, and she works, if you watch her videos, she works so hard to make sure that the image that you get when you buy like the physical product with the physical pattern, that they color match as well as they possibly can to real life. And I just appreciate that she pays that close attention to detail. She's a freaking magician with color, and I think that's why we all love her too. She has amazing designs and fun colors, so how can you go wrong? So now that I've shown you all of my finished projects for winter, all of my whips for winter, I'm going to show you how I'm also cleaning up my paper planner that I created for myself to take winter out and bring spring in. Okay, so this is how I have set my planner up for 2026. Excuse the double printing there. Let me just quickly flip through to show you my project inventory. This is where I'm keeping track of all the patterns that I have collected over the years, predominantly in 2025. And I also know which ones that I've completed and started, things like that. Lots of fun pictures. I like having a visual representation of everything and something outside of the computer or my phone that I could play with. I love tactile paper things. And then here's my pattern log. So these are the patterns and projects that I've actually started. And so lots of these have been completed, but not a lot have been finished. And then there's a handful that are still in progress. I have that going. So this is where I plan to add photos of the projects that I've completed in 2026. I have a few that I need to add here. So what I plan to add here are photos of the projects that I've either completed or fully finished. Both I think are going to go here. I also have my goals. I never got around to showing this at the beginning of the year, but that's okay. I went ahead and made my goals, used some washi tape to decorate, used some highlighters and pens, added one sticker, and kind of called it a day. So this is my handwriting with a highlighter, and then I outlined it with a black pen. And then this is a rough outline of the year and just different events and things that I want to participate in throughout the year. So in January, I went to Under the Sea Fabrics Bare Bones Retreat, and I'm going to the Stitching Sirens Retreat in June. I had so much time here. And then there's a couple of online events that I'm really interested in participating in, so I wanted to have a place where I could record those. So this is just for cross stitch. This is not for any of your traditional planning or keeping up with appointments or meetings or things like that. This is solely for my cross stitch. So also I have my plan, and this helps me to see what projects that I have purchased patterns for and or have started working on. And which of the seasons I would like to be working on them. I'm a seasonal stitcher, so that's how this is divided. And then up on front are all of the different patterns that don't fall into a specific season. These could be stitched at any time, and so I have these kind of separate here, but it just helps me to kind of see very clearly that I have a lot of projects that I would love to be working on in the fall, not as many in the summer or the spring, but this just gives me an overall view of what the year kind of looks like in terms of stitching. Now, I don't really intend to stitch all of these in a given year. This is just showing me what the options are that I have to do that. Okay, and then these are my seasonal plans. So this is what I wrote out at the beginning of the year, and there was a lot of different things that I wanted to focus on this year, and already I can feel like this is entirely going to change. So this is the plan at the start of the year when we still have winter, spring, summer, and fall ahead of us. I'm going to review this, and then also I'm going to work on updating this. So winter's already gone and past us. We're now into spring, and so I always like at the end of each quarter to look what I thought I would be doing later in the year and make adjustments as needed. So I'll be working on that with you guys. And then I also have this printed out and ready to go for summer and for fall. Then I also have the monthly pages that I utilize just to keep track of like what are my goals, what do I want to focus on specifically in that month, and then I keep track of my stitching on a daily basis. I'm not a hugely prolific stitcher, but definitely December and January were really stitch heavy months. I don't know if it's the nature of the season or what, but I did a lot of stitching for me in that time period, and it's just kind of fun to look back and see what I was working on. I also have these little stickies that I printed for myself because two of the projects that I want to be working on are my birthday star from last year and my oldest whip. My oldest whip is a huge project. We'll get to it in a second, and I have no immediate plans as to when that will be done, but I did just want to make sure that I'm touching it. I'm trying to work on it as much as possible. So this was February. February ended up falling off a lot with my stitching, and then I'll talk about March and stuff in a second, but these were the winter months. So that's why I don't like doing plans like with the year, because I really feel like winter is December, January, February. And so that's what I pulled. December, January, and February. Other people might be interested in doing January, February, March, kind of those quarters, but I prefer seasonal. So that's why I only have, at the moment, December, January, and February in here. And then here's a few other extra stickies that I had printed out and ready to go for later months. Okay, so then I have my Kanban board, and that is where my projects, my patterns are in progress. So back here is where I have my completely finished projects, my fully finished projects. This section here. Then I have a section here for patterns completed. I have those that are in progress, those are kitted, those that are being prepped, and those that are on deck. So absolutely nothing has happened except that I have purchased a pattern. And this is a really nice system because these are just on little sticky flags, and I can move it to my next section whenever that comes about. So for 2025 merit badges, I've stitched 2 of the 3 merit badges, and I would love to stitch that 3rd merit badge, but I don't think I've earned the merit badge. I'll show you in a second. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put this into pattern completed because yes, there were 3 as part of Shaded Stitchery's initial Patreon month, but I've only done 2, and I think I'm only gonna do 2. So that's just a quick overview. Now let's get to the fun pages. So this is a list that's gonna be ongoing through time, multiple years. Doesn't have to be those that were finished only in this quarter, this season. But these are all of the projects that I have fully finished since I started working, well, mostly since I started working in this planner. A few of these I did beforehand, but there were so few that I felt that I could add them in here. And then what I also do is have a project page for every project that I completed. So right now, this entire album only houses, in terms of this stage, like showing where a project is in the process of a project, in the life cycle of a project. The only things I have in here are those that I have done in this winter. So those that I've done December 2025 and January and February 2026. Because I have so many patterns, this is where the overflow goes, you guys. I can't keep everything in this one through 6-ring binder. I think it's like a 1-inch. So I have to shuffle things around. I'm planning to use this, like I said, on a seasonal basis. So right now, as I said, everything in here is just winter. And so I can quickly see this winter, I fully finished the button-up pattern from the Prairie Schooler. I completely finished the Christmas Fox from Bad Stitch. And then I can see in this next tab that what I've completed. Again, this is a completed list from the beginning of this planner time, the beginning of this planner, and I can see this season that okay, so maybe I did this at the last day of November, whatever, I'm counting it here. I completed this pattern. I haven't fully finished it into an ornament, but this is what has been completed this season. I finished Not All Were Sleeping. I finished Christmas Cheetahs. I finished A Perfect Christmas. I finished this adorable Otters in Love bookmark, and I finished this little Mill Hill Kit UFO, my first introduction into beading, or working with beads. Okay, and then I can quickly see what do I have in progress that I would like to stitch in the winter month time, or that could be stitched at any time in the year. So I started this season in February. At the beginning of February, I started this London project, and for me, this is one of those projects that can be stitched at any point in the year. There's nothing seasonal about this project, so yeah, I'm including it here, and I really love this pattern that I bought. It's actually a kit that I bought on eBay, and I ended up just switching out. No, actually I didn't. I think I was planning to switch out the Ada for a smaller count, or a higher count rather. I didn't end up doing that, so never mind. Okay, and then also this season I started winter. I think this is actually called Arctic Animals. I wrote it wrong, by Stitcherovia. I just loved this pattern, and this is a great, fantastic pattern to be working on in the winter season. I started Strawberry Hill because I was working on a drag race challenge that thick threads, and oh, I'm so sorry. I will put your name up on the screen. He and another Instagrammer were doing a drag race themed challenge, and I was keeping up with it for a good number of weeks, and it's just kind of fallen off as life has gotten really busy. But I started this as part of that, and I'm really excited to keep working on it. I think it's a great spring pattern to work on as well. This is the 2025 merit badge that I was talking about earlier. So I have done Disassociated Via Hobbies and Defied the Doom Scroll. I've done both of these, and I want to make them into patches. So now this is in progress, but I'm gonna actually mark it as completed because like I said, I don't think I earned the habitual grass stitcher merit badge, even though I love this design. So yeah, I'm gonna just call this one completed because there's already, I have like several more months of Shaded Stitchery's Patreon that I would love to do, and I am just happy to have done the 2 of those. So that will go into the completed section, and then I will at some point I will update here that I've completed it. But going back, okay, and so going back, I've also been working on the Reading Badger from Nafnalu. I haven't touched Hopperstown in a while. Yeah, there's this one that I'm working on. And then there's Winter Forest Ornaments. Of course, this is very, like, I stopped working on this one in December. I'll pick it up again next winter. But it's part of this season, so it's in here right now. Here's Snowflakes and Stars from Lindy Stitches, another one that I worked on really. I didn't get as much of this done as I would like to, but I have this started. And then these are my 2 kind of ongoing throughout the year projects. Moonlight Sampler and the Cats of Gato Gomez are my 2 bigger projects that will just kind of stay in here because these are like non-seasonal to me, and I'm just going to continue to work on them. So those are all of my in-progress projects for this season. And then let's see, what do we have kitted? So I have kitted up Giraffe from Velvet Pony, but I've not started stitching this one. I loved this design, it's so cute. I have had Midnight Nature Walk kitted up for so long, and I just have not gotten it started. And then Midnight Card Catalog, which is a companion to the Haunted Book Cart from Haunted Frames, or maybe it's the Midnight Book Cart from Haunted Frames that I would like to stitch. And it's great because this pattern utilizes all of the same DMC floss as the other one, so I just need to get this one stitched. But I need to get stitching on it. But these are a couple of projects that are prepped and ready to go, and if I'm looking like I really want a new start, I can absolutely look and grab one of those. And then in terms of prepping, I'm prepping Frogworks Year 1, which is from Black Needle Society. I don't know that I have all the Ada. I think I finally settled on what fabric I want to use for this, so yeah, that's still in progress. And then La Caprina, I'm still waiting to get the Krynic and the DMC from my LNS, so that's still coming. But I did get the bead pack, picked up the bead pack a couple weeks ago, which is exciting, and that's why I started that little UFO project. I just wanted to get an idea of the let me see if you can see that. Yeah, I just kind of want to get an idea of how you did beading, and I really liked it. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I was super intimidated by it, so yeah, I'm really excited to get this going. I think this is going to be my 2026 birthday start because I'm still gathering supplies. This is a huge project. It's going to take me a while to do it. Okay, let's get into the last section here, well, essentially the last section, and that's just the projects that are on deck, ones that I would like to work on if I had the opportunity, and they're either winter themed or they're not seasonal. Just stuff here in the back that I didn't get a chance to work on, but it was on deck if I had so chosen. Here are the parked projects. These are ones that I just have no idea when I'm going to get to them. And then here are my notes on finishing that I have here. I'm really bad at finishing, so I'm trying to get better at it. And then these are just like extra pages and notes and things. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm going to take out all of the stuff that's for winter, and then I will work on putting all the stuff in that is for spring. So I'm gonna speed this section up and probably do a voiceover. Okay, so I've sped up this part of the video because literally all I'm doing is flipping back through everything that I've already showed you, and I am pulling out all of the winter items, and before I do so, making sure that I'm adding them to the various lists that they need to be added to.
And once I yank all of these out of my quote-unquote present day planner, they go into the future binder.
Okay, so I have two other A5 craft notebooks that I got off of Amazon. There's 6 whole. And they serve purposes of holding overflow. So this one I call the past. This one is technically the present. And this one is the future. So let's start with the past. So this one doesn't have as much in it because I have not been planning my cross stitch for very long, but I have these really horrible A5 dividers. Yes, they are like the size of A5 paper, but they defeat the purpose for which they were created because they don't extend past the paper, so you can't, I mean, you can kind of see them, but they're pointless. Anyway, I have a plan to fix them. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. So in this section, I have various dividers that need to be fixed, and this is all the stuff from the past. So here's the 2025 projects page that I created and didn't fill in. Here are my Q3 plans. Here are old seasonal plans. So I don't have any of that stuff yet to put away, so I'll skip that. But here's where I have all my old pages for the various months. And so I will just add December, January, and February here. Yes, I could probably throw these away, but I like having the record. And then let's see, what do I have in here? Oh, this is also the finished projects. So again, this is the past. So these are fully finished. I did Mouse's stitching, I did Halloween party, I did the midnight book cart, summer socks. I guess I'm putting these in reverse order. So this was the last one that I finished. And let's see, I completed. So I completed this one, and then this was the very last completion that I did. So now these are stored away. These are the projects that I have completed, but not fully finished. So let me pull those. These are, yeah, these are them. So these will go here, and I'm gonna put them like in the reverse order so that the last one that I did is on the top. And then when I get around to completing these, I will come back in here and move them in the completed part, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so in progress, do I have anything in here? No, because I didn't, these are technically, the ones that are in progress are, and the ones that are prepped, the ones that are in progress, the ones that are kitted, the ones that are prepping are still future projects. Like I have not started them yet. So this is where the other binder comes into play. Other binder has all of my project pages, and they're again divided badly by either season or specific event. Or like these are just ones that can be completed at any time. And let me clear some room off my desk here. So this is hardly a winter project, so that will go winter. This one I would also consider a winter project. This guy is Christmas, so that has its own section. I'm gonna put these two with Christmas. So these are the in progress ones, and then these are the ones that were on deck, and I don't think I'm distinguishing in here. I'll probably put the ones that are in progress at the front of those sections, and then the ones that are not started at the back. And so here are all of the ones that I have done nothing with. These are all, because all of this was in the present lavender planner, I now am going to put them away. And so these are the ones, let's start with, since this is winter, let us start with the patterns that are currently being worked on. And see, even in this little binder here, it's already bursting at the seams. Oh, okay, sorry, I hope I didn't scare anyone there. would not be my intention to harm myself on camera especially. Okay, and so then here are some other no, I did this wrong. Okay, so this first section is can be done at any time, not winter. So as far as the ones that can be done at any time, I've left them in the present because they can be done at any time. So they can stay where they are. And then these can be done at any time too, but I think I'm just not going to prioritize these anytime soon. So I'm going to put them in here so that the lavender binder isn't full up. Okay, first section, projects that can be done at any time. Second section is the winter. So this is where I would put these two projects that were in progress, because next year when I'm looking at winter projects, I'm gonna wanna probably start with these because I already have some progress made on them. So it'll be good to get back to them and potentially even finish them. I mean, this one is, I've done a lot of work on this one and it's still not finished, but that's okay. I'm happy to move on to another season. Hello, my friend. I don't know if you can hear my cat, but he's just walked into the room. And then here are some of the other projects that I didn't prioritize for this winter, so I will be able to look at this section next winter and decide what I want to work on. After winter comes spring, I believe. So this is the section I'm going to pull from when I want to start working on my seasonal the next part of my video. Okay, and then I also just realized, wait a second, I had also pulled a few that were on deck and I didn't get to work on those. So these also need to go in the winter section. Next is spring, which I will be pulling from shortly. This is when dividers would come in real handy, y'all. Okay, after spring is summer. So I don't really have a lot of summer projects. It's not my favorite season, but I have a heck ton of fall, which I don't need to get into right now. I have a lot of fall. I probably have even more Halloween because I love Halloween. It's my favorite thing to stitch to as well. And then this last section is Christmas. And so I guess, yeah, I went on a bit of a buying spree this year. Have a lot of Christmas to play with. So here is where these go. So now this is like I said, it's bursting at the seams. So this wraps up my winter goodbye. I don't know what I'm calling this video yet, but like putting winter away, bringing spring in video. So we have officially finished winter, and now that I have these piles of whips around my studio, I'm going to be putting the various winter projects away into long-term storage, and then in my next video I'm going to show bringing all of spring in. So I will give you an idea of what I'm planning to work on and what I'm hoping to accomplish over the spring season. If you have made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching this video, you taking your time to watch it, you sharing some time with me, getting to know me a little bit better, and then also seeing all of the amazing projects that I'm working on from all of these fantastic designers. I will make sure everything is linked in the description bar below. If you wouldn't mind, please like this video and or subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And I thank you so much.